trapped here in my room. No trace left here of you. Cold call another person or two. Seems like I'm the only one home. Aligned with the sun. Shadows on everyone. No reason to run. Hide out inside. Just stay at home. So lost and alone. Be here unknown. Don't tell a soul. Bad taste, can't seem to get it out. Blank space where you shut my mouth. Filled yours with love to spit it out. I thought we wanted the same thing. Trust me, it's alright. Goodbye. Now let me try to sleep. I don't care to say goodnight. It would be a lie. Another fleeting dream. Trust me, it's alright. Goodbye. You never meant anything. You mean nothing to me. Just stay at home. So lost and alone. Be here unknown. Don't tell a soul. Been so down since you left. Can't get out of this hole. Stay safe at home. So lost and alone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Touchline Talk. City's players are actually back from injury. Hooray! Well, a lot of them are. Some of them aren't. But the vast majority are. So in this video, we're going to have a chat about what is the potential impact of that going to be. We can also maybe have a slight brief reflection on how we feel our new signings have done so far in their City careers. But this, because the international break has obviously happened, there is less to chat about in too much detail. So this is going to be far more of a Q&A focused show rather than one where I have a very specific topic I want to touch on, because there's not too much to talk about. There hasn't been that much of an update since Tuesday, TBH. Obviously, Pep had the press conference. I've not seen the comments on his future though, True Citizen. If you could bring those up to me, that'd be great. That would be lovely. And there we go. If you could please leave a like on the video as you guys are coming in. It's free and it helps support the channel, helps support your boy, helps grow the LNobbins YouTube user base to the masses, etc, etc. So do make sure you're leaving a like on the video as you are coming in. But how are we all doing today? Omar says Skinny Shirky is about to go crazy. He's excited. Love that from you. Man Cite says hello. How you doing, mate? Son says yesy. Brilliant. Umpalump says we can finally expect a bench with some game-changing quality. Yes, indeed. Matthew says the squad is back minus Rodri. Plays Arkham back from injury. Absolutely. We've got Yash, Yanko. Tristan says, why are you green? I have no idea. I got Ultimate who tried to do an image, but it sadly didn't work. I think in general for entim.png it should work, Ultimate. So I don't know if that's useful information or not. But there we go. Before we get started, though, I've got some very, 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 very interesting and profound and important news. I got a new Lego set that arrived yesterday. Look, it's an A-Wing. Look at it. It's sick. It's from a few years ago, and I built it after our Twitch stream in like less than an hour because I was so excited for it. Look at it. Look at how class it looks. Look at how sleek that boy is. It's got a little A-Wing pilot in there. We love to see that. It's got a little landing gear. I'm gonna get a little stand for it, so it looks all sick and whatnot. Came with a little side build. Here we go for a little rebel crew guy, and Lando Calrissian in his lovely little blue cape and Return of the Jedi get up. And I also got some other little minifigures like this little lady here, Mon Mothma, and all that stuff. I know you guys, that's what you guys are really here for. I know that's what you actually are here for. We were, I'm assuming you're talking about the tactical preview that for Everton that will be dropping later today. I haven't recorded it yet, but I've done my prep for Everton, so I have a vague idea as to how I believe they're going to be playing against us. Of course, they are without Jack Grealish also, but that will be later today. So do not worry about that. That will indeed be a thing. And look at this guy, Omar Marmoush, absolute boy. If City win the Champions League, can you make a Lego City reaction? I don't even know how I do that, but yeah, sure, we can do that for sure. LNobbins at it again. We established that is what the L stands for in LNobbins. Yeah, tactical preview later today. So yeah, players are coming back, or rather, players are back. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that the current state of play is as follows. Everyone is back, excluding Rodri, who picked up that injury in our, was it the game against no, it wasn't Burnley. Who did we play most recently? It was away from home. We won 1-0. Brentford. That was the one. Brentford, yeah. He got injured in that game. And it looked like a hamstring injury. Thank you, Puncher Bicycle, yeah, for confirming. Yeah, it looked like a very bad injury. He was touching his hamstring. He was touching himself. Crazy to do that pre-watershed as well. And they can sometimes be, a month plus out. And with Rodri's injury recent history, it did look very concerning. But Rodri actually came out immediately after and said, actually, it's not that much of a big deal. I actually expect to maybe be in contention for the Everton game. Now he isn't, and that's good. Well, it's not good, but I think it's good he's not starting. I don't like the idea that he was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be able to start against Everton. Nah, like, have a chill. We are at home against a side who are going to be without their best player so far this season. Calm yourself, Rodri. It's fine. I love the ambition to want to come back this early, but it's chill. It's absolutely fine. So Rodri is out, but it's not too much of a big deal. And I think someone's just touched on it there. Ichigo, yeah. 100%. This will happen. This happens to a lot of players after they've just done their ACL. You'll be having little niggling injuries all over your body. Quite often that does happen. It happened to Van Dijk, for example, as your body is adjusting. I think that we established in the Brentford game that if you're... I can't remember which knee it is. Let's say he did his right knee in his right ACL in whatever, and it was his left hamstring that went. That's because of it. He's overcompensating because his right side is weaker, so therefore he's putting more strain on the left side. It means it's going to introduce more of a issue for his left side. So it makes sense that there are little tiny injuries. That's not a problem, hopefully, long term. Of course, it's a problem short term, but hey, I think Nico's been playing very well in his stead in relative terms. I think he's been doing a great job overall. So it's not a problem for me. Hopefully he can be back for Villarreal, who he used to play for? Question mark. I feel like he did used to play for Villarreal. I don't know if I've just made that up. I feel like he played there for a season. Failing that, then the game after, which is... Hang on. I feel like it's Villa. It is Villa. And then Swansea. So maybe he can start against Aston Villa. Oh, was it Valencia? Sorry, they both Spanish teams beginning with a V. You know what I mean? And speaking of V's, yeah, Villa away. So maybe he can start that game or be available. Who knows? We shall see. It would be good if he could come on for an amount of time against Villarreal. That's the thing. So Rodri's out. That's not too much of a problem, and it's not that unexpected. And Kusanov is the other one as well, which is a little bit surprising because I did think that he was on track to definitely be ready post international break. So it's a shame that he's not available for selection, but he isn't available for selection. That being said, I don't know if I would have started him against Everton anyway. So I don't know how much of a loss that is, but he is another one, like a baby injury, and he should hopefully be back in a week or so. And Josh has just brought up Kovacic there. Even though I don't really rate Kovacic's minutes volume highly this season, or it shouldn't be high anyway, he did play against Croatia, for Croatia in the international break. I would rather have the option than not have the option. So it's good to see that he's also back from injury. That he's back from injury, unlike a Kusanov and Rodri, but maybe a week or so, and we'll be absolutely fine therein. But the players who are available, the players who are back, and this is important, is Marmoush and Shirky and yeah, I know, Matthew, yeah, and Ait Nori. This, in particular, Marmoush and Shirky are big, big options to have, because a big problem that City have had so far this season, certainly when those players got injured, is you look to your bench and it's pretty lackluster for game-changing players to bring on. It's only really like Savio to bring on, and that's not enough. We need far more available options there. It makes City too predictable. It makes City too tepid and blunt going forward. So having Shirky available off the bench, having Marmoush available off the bench, or to start, of course, is a massive boost for City if they are drawing the game, if they are losing the game, and they actually need to bring on some sort of offensive impetus. It's very good to have them there. So vital that they are available. Yash says, Pep said Ait Nori and Marmoush are very close to being ready. So that might suggest that it could be on the bench, perhaps. I don't... The more I'm thinking about it, the more... Because I did want Shirky to start. But because we know that Shirky and Foden, two fantastic creative players, it's going to be so good to see both of those two in the same side. They are I would say, our two best creative players in the team overall. So certainly from those central areas anyway. So vital that we can get Shirky up and running as soon as possible. Maybe they can come on off the bench. I don't know if it makes sense to start them. Do we need to rush them back against Everton at home, who are a threat, of course? They gave Liverpool a run for their money at Anfield, but they are without their best player, who is Super Jackie Grealish. So that is a thing. Shirky, Foden, link-up player, definitely, as I say, objectively our two most creative players from the centre there. It's not even up for debate, realistically. Foden, fantastic creative player. Shirky, fantastic creative player. It's going to be lovely to see those two connecting eventually. We already saw it at the Club World Cup. We're yet to see it so far this season. Exactly, Spring, yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it? We're yet to see it so far this season because Foden started the season injured, then Shirky played, and then Shirky got injured, and then Foden played. So we haven't yet seen them cross paths yet in the Premier League. So that's going to be really, really exciting to see. And you throw the option to have Marmoush in there as well, whether as a starter or off the bench, and City are all of a sudden looking like a far more promising option. Ichigo, I don't disagree with you that he would be the best player for Everton tomorrow, but based on this season, I would punt for Grealish first, but definitely he would be their second best player, at least based on this season. He's going to be their main threat tomorrow, isn't he? So we're going to have to ensure that, and this is why I really don't think Ait Nori should be starting, because if he's playing off that right side, I probably want my left back to be someone who's demonstrated that they are unbelievably solid defensively and can just snuff out that threat. And that's really what Nico O'Reilly's done. He snuffed out Madueke, he snuffed out Saka. He's been fantastic defensively at left back this season. Even if Ait Nori was fit, maybe he would be the better, superior option to have to try to shut down that threat from Everton. I'll go into a bit more detail about Everton in the tactical preview. Someone asked who their midfielders are. It varies. Garner, for example, he's a boy. Who started their most recent one? Who started that's City's games, mate. That's not Everton's games. You silly little swine. Is it Gay? Yeah, it was Garner and Gay started most recently. I think they had a different combination the match before that, though. No, they didn't. I'm wrong. No, it was just Garner and Gay again. I thought for some reason they had a different lineup. Am I thinking of the Wolves game, or am I just like dead wrong there? No, I'm just wrong on all counts. Oh no, it is a different player. Never mind. They got Tim, but Garner is the guy. Did he play for United at one point? Am I being stupid? James Garner. Did he have a very short-lived career at United for like a second? Youth career. Oh, yeah. He was in United youth. I don't know if he ever played for them, but he was in their youth, certainly. I feel like I remember him playing for them. Very briefly, thank you. Thank you. So I'm not going totally insane. That's chill. That's chill. So for City, I just expect it to be the same midfield. I know I just said I'll go into more detail in the preview, but I do think it's probably just going to be the same midfield from City as well. That would make a lot of sense, particularly given, like, we know it has to be Nico because Rodri's out, and it makes sense to start Reinders and Foden because it just makes sense to start them. So it's probably going to be the exact same midfield from a City perspective, and probably overall, even the defense might be the exact same. Even the forward line might be the exact same, because even though we've just said how these players are coming back and it's lovely they're now available, is it too soon to start them? Almost definitely. So it might be better to on the side of caution like that. Who's injured? Asks Reddy, and someone else asked it as well. Rodri's still out, so Nico's going to be starting, definitely. And Kusanov is still out also, so I would suspect Nunes would start at right back, and that's what I would have opted for anyway, because against Everton without Grealish, they're going to be far more defensive than I think that we've seen them this season without one of their best players, or maybe their best player for me. So I don't know how much sense it makes to basically have a non-factor offensively at right back and have Kusanov there, whereas having an actual player who will contribute offensively, I do think that would make more sense against a side like Everton, who are going to sit in. We'll see how Pep sets us up, though. Will we try to revisit the 2-3, or is the 3-1 just a thing that he wants to keep on pushing for? I hope not, because I don't like the 3-1. I don't like the 3-1. It makes sense against back fives, in fairness. It does make a lot of sense. I do advocate it in that instance, but generally, I don't like a 3-1. I don't like a 4-man build. I don't like a 4-1. A 4-man rest defense, or a 3-1 rest defense. I don't like that. Nico's earned his place at left back, says Vivek. Yeah, he's been lovely. I know he's going to have to do some work. He's going to have to do some work, definitely. God, yeah, did play very briefly for them. Marmish and the 10 Wide State fans think he can play that. Yes, so, someone did ask me this on Ask Nobbins recently, in the most recent one, and I'm with Itchy Goat here. I like Marmoush a lot. You guys know that. He's my boy. He's a very pretty man. He's in the thumbnail of today's video. But that is, if you think of like what are sort of like the key attributes for the 10 role, let's say, what are the key attributes? Well, I'd say one of the main attributes is being incredibly secure in possession. Abanab, thank you so much. 6 months in the Ultras Club. Thank you, matey. He says, hello there, Nobbins. Let's see who your random footballer is, mate. Thank you, as always, for supporting the channel. Big up to all my members. Let me just get a little shout out for them on the screen as we go through this. Oh, your random footballer is Andy Carroll. There we go. That's a decent pull. I mean, there was a time period where he was class. And then there was a time period where he was shit. But, you know, there was also, let's pretend it's the good one. The one that was good at Newcastle. For that time period. Yeah, so, yeah, EA's just said it there. Yeah, you need to have great spatial awareness. Good first touch, I think, is mandatory as well. You've got to be secure in possession also. And that, I think, is the biggest reason as to why I don't really want Marmoush to be playing in that area. Not that area, sorry, with that role, because he does not have that. Because even though he doesn't have like a trampoline touch, as like some people have said, some people do go too far the other way, but it is fair to say that his first touch isn't tight enough, clean enough, good enough in that role to do it successfully. So that's why I'm not a big fan of advocating for him playing there. He's also not necessarily got the vision / range that you would want from a player in that role. Exactly, Matthew. Yes, exactly. So, and that's what I mean when I say like as a 10 or one of the 10s or the 10. I don't think he has enough attributes to do that. So And I also think that you're not getting the best out of him anyway. Even if we park those negatives to one side, all the positives of Marmouche, you're not really getting if you play him like that. And Matthew just said it there. You need to be positioning him, if you're going to be doing it centrally, he needs to be tighter to Haaland, operating in his shadow rather than given the full license in that area of the pitch. So you can have like a second striker close to Haaland, or you can have like a left inside forward, so slightly further to the left. Both are great viable options. You can even have him at left wing if you provide a consistent enough overlap and rotational option. That's fine, but I'm not too convinced that is his vibe. Morgan Gibbs-White would have been a great option at 10 though, because he does have a fantastic creative range. For example, he also has a decent first touch. Like, his first touch is better than Marmouche's, I would say, and certainly that there's no doubt about it that Morgan Gibbs-White's passing, I keep saying passing range, I think that is the correct term, is also like superior as well. Like, he's actually very good at that area of the pitch, and he does have the traits and he does have the attributes for that. That's why, even though it wasn't big on the signing, you can go back to like the first streams that we did. Now, I was actually, I'm not gonna say down on the signing, but that was big. That was before we were linked with anyone else. I think that's before we signed anyone else, really. And I was concerned that, oh my god, like, this is going to be our main guy. I came on to more of the idea as a squad option. I was like, great. And then I was quite disappointed in the end when we didn't ultimately bring him in. That ship maybe has sailed. But yeah. So we've gone over the injury list. It's looking a lot better. Doku's having a great season, man. We love to see that. We really do. Probably Sachin, yeah. And again, I think that's just out of necessity. Even though players are coming back from injury / are back from injury, they're not. Are they back in a starting capacity? I'm not so sure. Not so sure. Coven might make an appearance, hopefully, off the bench. I don't want him starting. I don't. A midfield of Nico and Kova at home against Everton is, I think, would be far too cautious. I like Elliot Anderson. He's a good player, yeah. And it's no surprise that City are linked with him based off his recent performances, for sure. Get some minutes. It makes sense for him to come on if available. Makes sense, definitely. Do we give O'Reilly a break, says REP. I don't know if you can do it for the first game. I don't know if you should start him, considering he's just coming back from injury. I'd give O'Reilly another go, because he didn't play over the international break. I know that he went on international duty, but I don't think he played a minute for England, did he? So he's rested. He's absolutely fine there. He's absolutely fine. Sometimes, yeah. Definitely agree, Marmouche, and definitely agree with you, Matthew, on your Marmouche take. Savio is not rubbish. I don't know who's saying that, but they are definitely wrong. Totally agree that he is not rubbish at all. He's a 21, very exciting young winger who got 8 assists in the league last season. He's a good player. Definitely a good player. Definitely not a panic buy. No, what City needed was a versatile forward who could fill in for Haaland, but also play easily with him as well. That's exactly what he is. Thank you so much, Abnab, for the super chat. We're coming to that in a moment. Look how sick this is. Oh, speaking of sick, look. So, sadly, because we aren't playing. I was gonna say we are playing the game tomorrow, but we are. But I'll be at the Etihad. I've updated the timer. Do you guys remember what the old timer used to look like? In fact, let me just get it up on the screen right now. Sorry, let me just indulge myself for a moment. No, I've deleted it. It's somewhere. Yeah, you remember what the old timer was? It was just like the badges of the clubs and then like the scoreboards. Something I very quickly made in Photoshop. I hired a graphic designer to make one for me. Look at how pretty this looks. Look at this. I know we're not playing Everton, but I just asked them to do it as an example. Look at how pretty this is, man. Look at how professional and clean this is. You got the badges like rotated, zoomed in slightly. You got the Nobbins logo. The score and the halftime thing goes in that little slot up there. Look at how nice it is. Look at how pretty. Isn't it lovely, guys? It's a big dub, yeah. It just reminded me because the super chat. Always investing The money that I make from this channel always goes back into the channel. Always goes back into the channel. Whether it's a widget or whatever. Yeah, that's the reaction I want to see. Yes, come on, guys. So sadly, it's not gonna be shown this weekend, but it will be shown on Villarreal. That's the game. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like it, because these things cost money. So I'm very happy that you guys like it. I don't disagree, Iron Man, a lot, but I don't think that, in fairness, I totally agree. I think that's just football fans. I think we can take this fan base out and we can just change that to like football fans. That's what I've noticed. It's just every single fan base is just overreacts a lot, because football is just an inherently emotional game. So I get it. I get it. How many times do you watch the game and you're on top of the world, and then 5 minutes later you like just want to drown your sorrows in Pepsi Max? You know what I mean? Speaking of which. I think so, Dom. I think so. Off ball anyway. Off ball, certainly. Thank you so much, Abhab. Where do you see Marmoush starting ahead of Doku? Starting ahead of. So that would suggest that Doku's on the bench. Because there are multiple worlds where you can get Doku and Marmoush into the same side. The first way to do that is Haaland's not in the team. So obviously Marmoush just plays where Haaland is. Let's assume that Haaland is in the side, though, just for a second. Let's assume it's a relative full-strength City side. So Haaland's in the side. How can you incorporate Doku and Marmoush into the same team? The first one is to simply play Doku left wing and then Marmoush as that left inside forward. You would have to change to a 4-4-2 to do that. You couldn't do a 4-3-3 off ball or a 4-1-4-1 off ball, which is what we have been doing for the majority of this season. That's what we have been doing for the majority of this season. But you could do it. You could definitely do it. That's the first way to do it. But you couldn't have Aït-Nouri push up. That's the issue there. The second way to do it, and lots of you guys have already said it, is you can just have Doku play at right wing, because even though he's not especially showcased that for City, he showed it at Rennes, and he's done it for Belgium as well. So that's another way that you can do it. You can have Doku off the right, you can have Marmoush off the left. But this question, to be fair, is more about starting ahead of. So those are how you can incorporate both. But in what games would you rather play Marmoush instead of Doku? And I think that you'd want to do that in a game which is far more open and is there to be contested. Generally speaking, I would much rather, because the question's being framed as a one or the other, I would much rather play Doku if we know for a fact that our opponents are going to play a back five. We know that all they are going to do is lock in, low block, and not even really attempt to challenge us offensively. They're very happy with a draw. They're very happy with a 0-0, or they might hit us on the counter-attack. And in those instances where there is very limited space, I want Doku to be starting. Now, that's not the same as saying that Marmoush can't succeed against those teams, because he can create space with his great runs, but let's be honest, Doku is far more suited to low blocks than Marmoush is. And I think Ichigo's just said it there. In theory, against better teams, there's going to be more space available. And it is a reality that Marmoush is a lot more suited to those game states, because at Frankfurt, he thrived in those transitional moments. That was his bread and butter. Those were perfect games for him. Matthews, a great point there. The Arsenal game was perfect. Like when Doku came off, I can't remember what minute he came off, that would have been the best time to bring on Marmoush, when we were just pinned in and there was loads of space to potentially run into, because Marmoush can, with his, just by virtue of the threat from his positioning and pace, he can, just by being on the pitch, push back an opponent's line slightly further back when we need a bit more breathing room. So that definitely would have been a thing, absolutely. So if it's a question of one or the other, in where can Marmoush start ahead of Doku, it makes the most sense to do so when you know full well you're going to have a little bit of space. That doesn't just mean against the top 6. There are plenty of teams who try to keep the ball. Brighton, for example, are one of those sides who, even when they come to the Etihad, will give it a go and will try to have more of the ball, in which case they are leaving gaps in behind. So those sorts of games as well. If you're doing it from a POV of what's the ideal state for these players. Great question, Abanab. And as we've just outlined there, the good news is that there are instances where you can play them both on the pitch at the same time as well. Some people have told me that they think Marmoush can play right wing. I'm not going to say that because I've not seen it, so I don't want to comment. All I can do is base it off the evidence I have seen, which is when Marmoush has played more off the right for City, he has looked ineffective. That's all I can really base it off. He never really played there for Frankfurt. They played with wing-backs. But I will accept that maybe he could do a job there based on what these people are telling me. That's absolutely fine. I just haven't seen it yet. It'd be great if he could do it. I've just not seen it. So my prediction is right now he can't. That's just my prediction. Glad you guys like it. Yeah, so whenever you see like a new widget or like a new graphic or like a thumbnail upgrade, it's because, you know, money from the channel gets invested back in to make the experience more engaging and exciting for you guys. That's the vibe. That's the idea. Like the little carousel widget that took bare months and bare money to sort out. The Haaland printer, that took bare months and money to sort out. So I'm very happy that you guys like the little fun things that we do on the stream. Interest here, why I pronounce Haaland's name as Haaland rather than Haaland like the rest of us. Big fan of the stream. Thank you so much, some might say. It's because that is the Norwegian pronunciation. It's not done with a D at the end. It's a very soft D. When I was learning about him at Dortmund, I was listening to lots of podcasts from The Athletic, and they were all saying Haaland. So I just assumed that was how it's pronounced. I spoke to Norwegians. That is indeed how it is pronounced in Norwegian, and I prefer how it sounds. And it's a fun way to say it. So that's why I say it like that. Mate, I've not properly looked at the 4th kit, but yeah, this 3rd kit's stinky. Yeah, the emotes as well. Those emotes cost a lot of money. So yeah, thank you so much. Make use of those emotes. That's a great Shane one. Ariman, shut up, mate. You know all about that, wouldn't you, you little bastard? He can, absolutely, Matthew. Definitely, yeah, cooked it. Yes, definitely. Once again, it's just a shame that we've not yet seen it for City. He has been uninspiring so far. He has been so far. But there's no reason why it can't. There's no reason why it can't happen. There's no reason why it can't happen. But so far, we haven't yet seen it. And it's so interesting that Pep... I thought that Doku was being brought in to play at right wing. I say as much in my analysis video that this is where I think he'll play. He can play off the left, but I think he'll be more so the right because that's where he played the vast majority for Rennes. And that's where he started his City career. But then very quickly, he just swapped over. It was very interesting. So I don't know if Pep was anticipating him to be mainly a left winger, because he tried to play him at right wing initially. So it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. Who knows? Who knows? For me, Chess, definitely. I'd love it if we could push it more to a 4-3-3, though, because in a 4-1-4-1, where your wingers are a bit more passive, a lot more defensive burden will be placed on him as a right midfielder as opposed to a right winger. But yeah, definitely, Chess, as a concept, that is a thing. I'd start Marmoush against Everton, says Naveen. So I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would, because they're without Grealish. I don't think they're going to be that offensive against us. I don't think so. I actually think it's going to be far more defensive than we've seen from them this season because of the lack of Grealish. So I don't know. I don't know. Also, there's the question of, is he even fit to start? I don't know. I'd like to bring him on, maybe. You don't know, Naveen. It's a lot. It's a lot of money that gets invested. A lot of money that gets invested. Like collectively, it's 4 digits collectively, definitely. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I like them. I think they're fun. So, you know, yeah, get the likes up, guys. Come on, 115. You know the drill. You know the drill, guys. It's disappointing that I have to ask you right now. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. I've got to ask that. You know what I mean? He's very good at playmaking from the right, definitely. Love that from you, Atiya. Love that from you, Ichigo. I don't even know what you said about Doku, but that's good. Yeah. Do you see a future where Trafford comes first choice? Nope. Not for me. I don't think he has any future at City as a first choice. He's not young enough, and Donnarumma's too young for him. Is Doku natural right winger? That's what I thought that's what he was when I was scouting him. I thought that's what he was, but I guess he's both. To be fair, like, what was Sterling? I thought Sterling was a natural right winger, but then arguably he had his best. He had some of his best games at left wing. He had some of his best seasons out on the left as well. It's a tricky one, and I guess that's the good thing. Does he even have a natural side? I don't even know. Does it matter if he's able to play well on both sides? I don't really care. We know he can play really well off the left. We now need to do so. On the other side. He was both, wasn't he? Yeah, that's what I mean. So maybe it's as simple as Doku is also both. Sterling was both. Maybe Doku can also just be both. It's a thing. You get me? Pellegrini forced him on the right. Oh, well, REP. Centurions here. Where did Sterling play? For to be fair, I don't know what the breakdown would have been for 18-19 because we signed Mahrez. But even I feel like Sane would have played the vast majority of the left, so Sterling must have played the vast majority off the right, wasn't he? I know he played some off the left, but I feel like he played most of his minutes in the domestic quadruple year off the right as well. I don't know. The beauty is he can do both, so it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Yes, contrarian, definitely agree. Not at all. I don't recall doing that. That's a fake news. That's fake news. Where's my thing? That's what that statement is, I'm afraid. I'm going to bring that here so I can use it even more. He is a very good player, definitely. It's 7 digits. Okay, chill. Big up to you, Leon. How you doing? I care about my viewers, Iron Man. I care about you, yeah? And that's not even including how much money went into the PC. I spent a grand alone on the graphics card. Never mind the rest of the stuff. Yeah, big up Sterling, absolute king, absolute queen. He started version on the left. Clear's coach trusts him to play both wings. Yeah, definitely, Alan, definitely. And that will be a lovely time for City as well. We know he can play off the left. We know he can play inside left. We haven't seen it enough off the right. Now we have seen it where Doku drifts over to the right, like as against Man United, where he drifted over to the right and was fantastic there and just destroyed all of United's left side. So we know that he's capable of arriving at right wing / right inside forward, whatever you want to, you know what I mean, like right of centre. But I haven't yet seen it on a consistent enough basis for City where he starts at the right and succeeds on the right. He's arrived on the right and done brilliantly. I guess the next step in his evolution would be, can you also start off the right and also be excellent off the right also? That would be the dream, because then that introduces loads of amazing variations, doesn't it? And it keeps the opponent guessing, because you could have it as we did against Chelsea, where Doku started at right wing and Savio started at left wing, and then they swapped partway through the first half. I think they swapped because they were struggling, but generally, you know what I mean? That would be a lovely solution to do and a lovely option to have. The reason we launched the fourth kit is because the players complained about the third kit. Nori at right wing. To be fair, Exactly, punch article. To be fair, I reckon rogue shout for right wing. I reckon Yoshko would be absolutely unbelievable at right wing. I'm so serious. I reckon he'd be class as a right winger. How many goals has he scored with his right foot? Now put him in a position where he can curl it and twat it with his left. Guys, stories will be written. Whether they'll be good, that's another question. Is everyone fit? No, Rashid, not everyone is fit. Kusanov isn't fit and Rodri isn't fit, but the others apparently are. Yoshko is a 10. Yeah, we will be there. We will be there. Oh, Jeremy Docker, we just answered that question about when the super chat came in from Abinab. Recommend you rewind about 20 or so minutes, something like that, because we have addressed that in a bit more detail. I had to get an RTX, and I'll show you why. Have you guys ever wondered? Like, how am I in green screen right now? I don't have a green screen, so how am I doing that? It's because of the graphics card, so I need an NVIDIA RTX powerful one to be able to do shit like this. And it's a, you guys have never wondered, you little rats, you little swine herds, yeah? You little boatswains, how dare you not understand the complexities of GPUs? I have what do I have? I have an RTX 4070 Super right now, and it's beautiful. Or is that 4080 Super? That's it's a 4080 Super. I've undersold myself there. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I had to get that for, so we could like properly do stuff with the channel. The street. Yeah, exactly. The streets will. Oh, sorry, it's a 4070 Super. It's one of those. It's 4080 Super, hasn't it? Investing in the channel so I can do loads of stuff. Like, look at that, Avinab. Look at that. What a cutie. What a cutie. Absolute boys. Absolute queens. You guys are all queens. For real, for real. You're all queens. No shot. I wish I were that intelligent, but no. Gvardiol at right back. Shut up. I was just being cheeky with him at right wing. I don't actually want him at right back. No. We're all queens here, Naveen. I'm a queen. There's nothing wrong. You can be a man and a queen at the same time. Being a queen is a state of mind. Yeah? It's a state of mind. You know what I mean? We're all queens at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're all queens. Just get 11 of them. Yeah. Exactly, Leon. I do need a lot of power for my content. Yeah, I need a lot of power. I love geeking out on that sort of stuff. I want to get a Noctua case. That's my next purchase. Again, because sometimes in my videos, I have to do fancy audio editing to get rid of the background noise that my fans make. So I want to upgrade to a better case that is a lot more quieter and has less decibels to increase the audio quality of the videos as well. Yeah, I think it was a 4080 Super waifu. I'm pretty sure. I can double check. It's a... I think it's an Asus. Asus? I've written it down somewhere. Gvardiol TM, yeah. I will be doing this, by the way. I will be doing this when Football Manager comes out. We're streaming that on Twitch. With Cork City, I am going to be playing City treble-winning tactics. John Stone's role. I'm going to be converting a poor DM to do that, yeah? I'm going to be converting a poor DM to sort out Cork City for us. Make sure you come over to the Twitch when FM releases. Who's that? Yoshko? Yeah. While playing Marmouche at left wing, Doku right wing. Yeah, we've touched on that tip top. That could definitely be a viable option. Although I will say, if Doku keeps playing excellently at left wing, do I want to move him? I don't know if I do. Exactly, Matthew. That's why I'm excited. In possession, out of possession. I'm going to be doing this. We're going to be playing John Stone's football with Cork City. I don't need elite players. We've got an elite manager. Back the team, yeah? Back the team. You know what I mean? You haul it, yeah, exactly, Jess. I'll be doing my tactical preview later today, matey, so stay tuned for that. Do stay tuned for that. Yeah, get the likes up, guys. Come on. Pauper level, yeah. Pay rent? Are you a deadbeat? Are you a scrounger? Are you a squatter? We don't do adverse possession here. There's no squatters' rights here. Pay rent. leave a like on the video. Pay rent to leave a like on the video. Or you're barred. Yeah? You're barred from the channel. Little phosphorus mule. Yeah? Yeah? Never even used that as an insult before. And yet here we are. What does it mean? I don't know. Sounds good though, doesn't it? Sounds bloody good. That's what you are if you don't leave a like. What happens with Rico? He'll be a squad option, I think. Just like an all-round available option. He can play it right back. He can play as a slightly deeper midfielder. He can play in the pockets. I like Rico a lot. And we can't predict ceiling absolutely. So who knows? But my suggestion, my immediate thought would be he's never going to be a proper starter for City. He's never going to be that guy, but he doesn't have to be necessarily. You can't have everyone in your squad being elite world-class starting material. There is no squad that has ever existed that has ever had that. Every single squad needs to have useful squad players. And I think that's what Rico can be. Now, Nico O'Reilly, I'm so far being proven very wrong here, because I thought that O'Reilly was just going to be that essentially as well. But he's demonstrating and showcasing that he has a chance to be a starting left-back for City. Now, maybe that will evolve into the midfield. Right now, the jury's still out. I don't know if he'll ever be that as a midfielder for City. A squad option for City in the midfield, sure. But he's at least going to be a squad option at left-back. And could become a starter, a left-back overall as well. Like, actually competing with that position properly for Ait-Nouri, not just Ait-Nouri's the one O'Reilly will play sometimes. Like, so that's the thing. But you do need squad players as well. You can't just have 25 goated world-class starters. You can't have that. It's not feasible. It's not viable financially. It's not viable from a dressing room atmosphere POV either. You need the balance. You need these squad options, and I think that's what Rico can be. That's certainly what Nico O'Reilly already is, but can he elevate and actually turn into just a starting left-back for City again? I think Ichigo just said it there, and I actually agree. I think Rico Lewis is better in midfield than Nico O'Reilly. The main problem with O'Reilly, that's my biggest critique of him at left-back, has been the first touch isn't yet clean enough. And that's a problem at left-back. Now, multiply that 1,000-fold going into the centre of the pitch in the midfield, in a Guardiola Manchester City side. Rico Lewis, on the other hand, he has that locked down. If you could combine them, then I think you have a properly elite footballer. So if you have, like, all of Nico O'Reilly's fantastic physical attributes, his endurance, his stamina, his engine, his defensive acumen, the strength, and you combine that with Rico Lewis's and also just the delivery from crosses and goal threat, and then you combine that with Rico Lewis's small space work, his first touch, the cleanness of it, the versatility overall as well, and the hair, then you are left with, like, properly one of the best players in the Premier League. Sadly, we haven't yet invented that technology where you can just amalgamate two life forms without dire consequences like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. We haven't yet seen that yet. But if we could do a sort of Frankenstein vibe, you know, I don't know if Mary Shelley's still in business, we could potentially do that. That's for you guys, though. I'm not a scientist, yeah? Do we have any scientists in the chat? How viable is that? Let me know. We can we can do that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Definitely viable, and I agree. Have I met any City players in real life? Yes. Yes, I have. I was going to say no, but actually I have. I haven't met any modern ones. However, I have met Tommy Booth, who played for us in the 60s and the 70s, and I interviewed him for my Colin Bell documentary, which is on the YouTube channel. So I have met a City player in real life, and I interviewed him. It was very cool. He was one of our players in the in our first golden era of the 60s and 70s. Yeah, RIP. And there's always room for those sorts of players, especially in the Guardiola side, versatile players. Yeah, very valuable, definitely. Yeah, you're barred, Leon, exactly, yeah, you're barred. Dunham had an excellent save versus Israel. We love to see that. Beautiful stuff, Contrarian. Love that. Yeah, I agree. Ichigote, I agree. I was watching the debate on bench starts out Haaland, Kane, and Mbappe on Sky Sports. And yes, I was there. What do you mean really surprised? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Huh? Oh, yeah. It was good fun. It was good fun. I was always going to say start Haaland, guys. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. If you want someone to score goals, as Tim Sherwood said, you need Erling Haaland. He's going to be the one to score you the most goals. Goals win games. Also, he's the youngest of them all. He's only going to get better. He's the only one who actually should have won a Ballon d'Or. Give me Erling every single day. Every single day. And he's only getting better. He's getting better. He's getting better. I don't know if saying that, he came on for Wolves and played in midfield. So there will be some times where he can play that, and I do hope he adds that to his game. He just needs to become a squad option. He does need to have a... what am I saying? He does need to become a squad option. You get me? Well, I don't think we'll ever play two strikers. Hopefully soon, Alan. Hopefully soon. Haaland's everything I wanted Balotelli to be. Oh, I love Mario, man. Give me Bob in the false nine. How much does my haircut cost? Not much. I did get it cut today. It was just over a tenner. It's not that expensive at all. And it only takes 10 minutes as well. It's very good. I'm very happy with it. I think it's like exactly... No, it's it's £11. £11. It's very good. He's my boy. And it's very good I caught him because he's going on holiday like soon. He's going on holiday soon, so if I didn't go today, I would have missed him. Would have missed him for a couple of weeks. So we got that in. We got that in, yeah. It can definitely improve. And this was like the conversation we were having about, because in that build-up stream, I was saying that City have a fullback build-up problem because we have a central problem. And the problem at fullback is that neither Nunes nor O'Reilly's first touch was clean enough. But the difference is Nunes is 27. If your first touch is shit at 27, it's probably not going to get better. Whereas O'Reilly, shit's harsh, subpar, let's say. Whereas O'Reilly is 20. He can definitely improve and can definitely get better. But again, Nunes, is he ever going to improve that much? Probably not. Old dog, new tricks, etc., in relative terms for a fullback. I called him an old dog. I'm literally older than him, but you know what I mean in footballing terms. Whereas O'Reilly, he's a baby. He's a child. 20 years old. It's a thing. You know what I mean? It's a thing. So that is all good. How about playing with two... Oh, sorry, I've already answered that. Yes. Thank you're on TV. Thank you. When Knobs on Blue Moon were complaining about you in the Donnarumma thread. What were they complaining about, though? Because, like... Without wishing to sound, and I will sound incredibly arrogant here, without wishing to sound incredibly narcissistic, everything I said in my Donnarumma video has come to pass, and then some. So, without wishing to say I was right, and I told you so, I was right, and I told you so. I don't even know what there is to complain about. Everything in that video has been shown to have come to pass, as I say. I don't really know what you can complain about, unless you didn't watch the video and you just assumed. I don't know. Maybe they did. But yeah, I'm so proud of that video. The more football that happens, the more I'm like, yo, this might actually be this might be my best video. This challenges the Colin Bell documentary at times. So that's very odd, isn't it? People are weird though, aren't they? I don't think I'd be able to pull off a bald head, itchy goat. I don't think I could pull that off. I don't think that I can pull that off, to be honest with you. Oh, my parcel arrived, guys. More Lego. I've got more Lego arriving. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. What am I saying? So what were we talking about? I feel like I got so distracted in the overall thrust of the stream. It's just like, but that's the beauty of Touchline Talk. We can just talk about anything. Yeah, we were talking about... We spent a lot of time on Doku and Marmouche, didn't we? We haven't really spent too much time on Shirky, who is a player who will be returning. He's going to make a massive difference for City. We were touching on, Doku can potentially play right wing, And we know that so far at City this season, the right side of the pitch, both at right back and right wing, is by definition available and up for grabs. It seems to be the most flux position, rather area of the pitch. We've got that spine locked down right now, seemingly. We've seen like the same centre back. Well, we obviously see the same goalkeeper. We see the same centre back pairing for the vast majority. We've seen the midfield pairing for the vast majority. We've obviously seen Haaland likewise as well. The left wing, left side, with Aït-Nouri's absence and Marmoush's absence, obviously become a little bit locked down. Right side, slightly different. And this is why it's so exciting. And we're talking about this now, and you guys are making me more excited about the prospect of Doku potentially playing at right wing, because I've never really properly considered that given the lack of evidence, but I'm willing to believe that could be a thing as well. I know that Cherki's my number one choice there, provided there's an offensive right back therein as well. That's going to be... There is a world... I'm not going to say fixes, because one could argue that we've seen lots of games where Bob's played really well, of course, and the right wing isn't a broken side, but at that like really high level, the right side can be improved defensively and offensively. Centre I'm happy with. The left I've been really happy with. Haven't been really happy with the right overall. You saw those data points I kept bringing up where like back-to-back games he's just had nothing offensively off the right side, so he can potentially fix that imbalanced right side. So I'm very, very excited about the prospect of Cherki returning, and of course Aït-Nouri as well. Aït-Nouri, although Nico Rau's been doing such a fantastic job, I really thought Aït-Nouri was going to unlock Marmoush and unlock Doku. It's actually been O'Reilly, but Aït-Nouri coming back as well. He will do that offensively. He can also improve us and build up. So maybe in the better games where you know that the team are going to press onto us, that might be a game for Aït-Nouri. Although that being said, O'Reilly's demonstrated he's arguably a better defensive player. Who knows? But that is a thing, and it's very it's exciting that they are all back. And when Kusanov comes back, even better. I would love it if he were given a proper run at right centre back, because that is his best position clearly for City in a back four anyway. It could be left centre. No, it's got to be right centre back because of Gvardiol, surely. So I'd love it if he can get a proper good run out at right centre back. That would be lovely. But Diaz has actually been playing quite well, so maybe that's not even necessary. I'm sure next season and onwards, because Kusanov's still a young player, still plenty of time. I love Kusanov. He's very good. What's my expectation from Marmoush? I need double-digit Premier League goals. That's what I want from him. And I want, like... It depends how many games he plays, in fairness. But I want... If we're talking about a pure output POV, I want close to 30 in all competitions. I do want that. I think he's more than capable of that. He's more than capable of that. Did he get over 40 last season? So I think high 20s is perfectly reasonable for Omar. I know he's capable of that. He does need the minutes. I know that he can be that guy, though. Definitely. So those are my expectations. Cheap for a haircut, yeah. And yet, does it look like a cheap haircut? That's the question. If it looks like a cheap haircut, then that makes sense, but hopefully not. Look forward to Cove and Nico. I don't know if I am. Yeah, I love his character as well. Again, something I touched on in my analysis video. Definitely agree, Fireborn, 100%. Hello, Amin. This is someone shouting at me on SSN. Oh, Sky Sports. You don't represent me. To be fair, I am an outrageous twat. I didn't claim to represent anyone though. I can only represent myself. So I don't know where the representation point is. Like I'm not a member of parliament, you know. I'm not an MP. I don't represent a constituency. I can only represent myself. And yeah, I back everything I've said about Donnarumma, because so far it's just every single week it keeps getting illustrated. Even who was it Italy played? Was it Estonia? Like even in that game as well, it just keeps getting proven correct every single time. Like that video is aging like the finest of iced wine you could ever contemplate or imagine. Ever imagine. Ichigo says LB's burner account. Hello. Ichigo might be a moderator, you know. He's got mod energy for real, for real. He's always here, I feel like. I recognize the name all the time. I've recognized it for years as well. Yes, Cal, how are you? Hideti had Marmouche back, says Amin, definitely. He did quite good last, because he barely had, in relative terms, he had half a season, didn't he? Like, his output was quite impressive, wasn't it? It was quite impressive. Love that from you, Fenway. Love that from you, mate. More so the latter. I will claim to represent the twat community. I will say that much, because I am a twat. But that's a badge of honour, you know what I mean? I do like to be a little bastard. That's how I work. That's my comedy. Yeah, so last season, so in 25 games, he got 9 contributions. So that's better than 1 in 3. That's better than 1 in 3. And 3 of those were in the Club World Cup, where he was he asked to just play instead of Haaland, which isn't even his position anyway. So that's really impressive. And yeah, for Frankfurt, mental. 20 and 13 is insane. Season before that, 17 and 6. He's just a late bloomer. Some people are late bloomers, you know? Some people are late bloomers. It's even that late. No, it is sort of late, to be fair, because he's, what, 26 now? So that meant that last season he was started at 25. The season before that, 24. See, he's like Mahrez, to be fair. Marmouche properly kicked off when he was 24, because the year before that, it was only 7. So Marmouche is very similar to a Mahrez, in that it didn't properly start to kick off until 24. Maybe the same will be. Maybe that would be the same with. Maybe that'd be the same with Doku, and maybe that'll be the same with Savio as well. Although, to be fair, the trend's already very promising for both of those two. But yeah, there we go. That's quite interesting, isn't it? It's quite interesting. Really, Iron? Is that because you don't think he's going to play enough games? I guess that's the question, because he obviously if he gets injured, then sure. But I do think that he will play enough games to get that high digits. I do think that. I do rate Marmouche that highly. How much is shave of both? Oh, I don't know, Aaron. I don't get my facial head, and I just do that myself with my what even is the brand of razor I have? I think it's an electric one. It's got a trimmer attachment, because I don't for the last couple of years I don't go skin. What's the term? Skin tight? I don't know what the fucking term is. Just clean shaven fully, because it would irritate my skin. Braun, that's the one ultimately. Yeah, it would irritate my skin and make it like all like get loads of rashes and like pimples and whatnot. So it wasn't very nice. I didn't like it. So now I just do that. So it keeps some of the stubbler. I think that's the call, not a trimmer, a stubbler. Is that you know, that thing? Yeah, that was, and that's something that we have seen and we will see. That's not a problem. Did he score an away goal? I feel like he must have done. Yeah. We should start right wing tomorrow. I think it'll probably be Bob, mate. I think it'll be Bob. Manscaped sponsors LB, big up. I never use Manscaped, but hey, I'm willing to advertise stuff if it's good quality. Like this chair, like the cinema chair, like NordVPN. I mentioned one stream, Marmouche will get the Mahrez treatment, says Faisal. Yeah, another late bloomer and another player who's like illustrating that just because you're not this demon output machine when you're 20, 21, 22, 23, there's no reason why you still can't become that. It doesn't happen to everyone, of course, but not all of these players didn't necessarily start 19, 20, 21 years old as this elite player already. It took Marmouche to get to 24 for that to be a case. Hey, Large Slime has just followed the Twitch. He's glitched baby Nobbins. Big up to Large Slime for following the Twitch. We will be doing Football Manager streams when that drops on the 4th of November, I believe. I'm very, very excited for that. Love you too, Musty. Doku got married. That's lovely. Where was my invite? Do acting? Definitely not. Yeah, I like the stubble blue in it, definitely. Yeah, I like the stubble. Mrs. Nobbins does like me with a little bit of facial hair. Not too much, because it gets a bit too tickly, but she does like that. We'll finish South Park Ultimate, because we'll have finished South Park by the 4th of November. That's only a couple weeks away. We'll have finished it by then. Staminard. I don't know what that means, Mario. I'm sorry. Exactly, Alan. Yeah, tell you who else was a late bloomer? Drogba, which I didn't actually realize. Drogba was also a late bloomer. The reason why I know that is because we signed him in my 1998 City Retro FM save, and then we were just like and then we were just having a look at his career. I don't think he popped off probably until he was like 24, 25 either. So it's interesting. If you have a screwdriver next to your name, are you a channel member? So if you have a spanner or a sword on the chat, then you are a moderator, wise. If you have a little rat next to your name, you are a channel member. So, for example, there's no one here on the screen right now, but I know Ultimate's just done one here. He's a little rat. He's got a little rat badge there. He's a beautiful channel member. If you want to support the channel, then you can do so by clicking the link that the Nobbot is about to provide to you. You can become a member of the Ultras Club. Exclusive videos, including extra Ask Nobbins footage and analysis videos. Lots of fun stream perks, including but not limited to emotes, priority, sub badges. You also get to support your boy as well, and you get to activate the Hall and Printer live on stream. Yeah, rats represent. Big up to the Ultras Club, massive. Love that from you, Fenway. Look at, and Fenway, I think that's a platinum rat, is it, Fenway? Is that a platinum or a silver one? It's one of those two. Looks very pretty. Well done, mate. Well done, mate. Some people are starting to unlock emerald rats, which is very cool. Shut up, Busty. And here's another one. Here's another one. Big up to Jay Chapman, who chats a lot. Room tour. I mean, I could do it with my 360 camera, but I can't be arsed standing up because I'm lazy. You know what I mean? Is Donnarumma the best goalkeeper in the world? I wouldn't say so, Percy, no. You can argue he's the best shot stopper in the world if you want to. I wouldn't agree, but you could argue that. Will Aaron get his first back-to-back win at Anfield? No shot, surely not. Surely not. Yeah, respect him for real. But not the trouble winning captain, but I get what you mean. Yeah, not room tour, less of that. I hope Marmouche can play more at City because he's a baller at Frankfurt, scoring and creating every week. He's a player who can guarantee 30 plus goals every year. He's been an output machine the past couple of seasons. 100%. Exactly, Musty. I believe so. I'm not going to say that you can't say Donnarumma isn't a better shot stopper, but I personally believe Courtois is indeed in a different level. TBH. Oh, Large Slime, you follow the Twitch. Love that from you, mate. Love that from you. Excellent work. Okay, so we've chatted about Ainori. We've chatted about Shirky. We've chatted about Marmouche and the relationship between Doku therein. Touched on Kusanov and Rodri's injuries. Hopefully Kusanov will be back soon. I think that's only going to be a slight injury. Maybe like a week. Rodri, I'm not sure. Not sure when it's going to be viable to start him. Who knows? Maybe a nice game to start him would just be Swansea in the League Cup if he is indeed out for that long. That might be a nice game to ease him into. But we've got some fixtures coming up. Let's just put it that way. We've got some fixtures coming up before the big one against Liverpool. Nah, it's not cooked his career, Musty. No chance. It might cook him this season, like it did cook Van Dijk for a season. But this is normal. Because it wasn't just an ACL, was it? It was also an MCL. Is that the right term? It wasn't just that, was it? It was a double whammy. So it was a big injury to have to try to come back to in arguably the most demanding position for a Guardiola system. So I'm not concerned about it. This won't be the first. This will be the first of many. There will be a lot more. There will be a lot more injuries to come, sadly. It's just part and parcel. It's a meniscal tear. Thank you, Faisal. A meniscal tear. I don't know what a meniscal is. I'm pleading ignorance there. I don't know what that is. Is it something in the knee? Let me know. Do let me know. What games have we got? Home against Everton. Okay, should be winning that. Away against Villarreal, I'm actually not going to predict a win there. I'm going to predict a draw there because Villarreal, we looked at it on the most recent stream. Villarreal are doing a madness in La Liga right now. So I'm not even going to predict us to win that one. Aston Villa away have sadly come into a bit of form now, but they started the season very stinky. There is a world where we can win that one. Obviously, League Cup against Swansea, we should win that. Home against Bournemouth, we should win that. Home against Dortmund, should win that. And then it's Liverpool. So the game I'm most concerned about there is Aston Villa, I would say. That's the game I'm most concerned about. Because if you drop points in the Champions League, it's whatever. If you drop points in the Premier League, that's another matter, and that's a big game. Thankfully, it is Tuesday, Sunday, so there is time to rest, and then there's a League Cup game thereafter, so that's nice. Hopefully, Rodri can be available for that one, but failing that, it'll have to be Nico, of course, but that's in, what, 8 days? The 26th of October? Good lord, there are lots of games coming up soon, aren't there? Was that 3 games in 8 days? Jesus. Yeah, the 26th, so that is a week on Sunday. Maybe Rodri can get some minutes against Villarreal, even if it's only like 10 minutes, so maybe he can start. Is that too early to start him? Maybe it's not. Maybe the game to start him is just a Swansea one. And then, as you say, Musty, rest him, then maybe starting for Dortmund or like Liverpool. I don't know. I don't know. We need Rodri back ASAP. Even though Nico's doing a good job. Of course he is. Of course he's doing a good job. We do have Nico G. Absolute boy. Absolute boy. I do believe Alisson's a better overall goalkeeper, Percy, yes. Rodri relies more on his brain than his body. We should be fine, says Akash. Just whether his body fails him, that's all. Of course it's possible, Nintendo. We played like that for the past at least 3 years out of possession. Just haven't seen it once yet this season. Villarreal's a must-win. I don't know if it is. I think that like someone broke it down, and to get into like the top 8, City can afford to drop points in that game. Now it would involve winning a lot of the other games. Like we would, if we should be beating Dortmund at home. We should be beating Dortmund at home. That has to happen. We should be beating Leverkusen at home. That has to happen. Okay, we're not going to beat Real Madrid, fairs. But then we play, what, Galatasaray? No, Bodo Glimt away. I don't care if it's away. We should be winning that game. That's 9 points, right? Wait, or is that 12? If we don't beat Galatasaray, that's a problem. I'm saying that's 3 points. We should be beating Galatasaray. We should be beating Bodo Glimt. If we don't, that's a concern. It might be a tough game, but hey, Villarreal is tougher. So if we're saying that one of them's a must-win, it ain't Villarreal, it's Bodo Glimt. So that's 6 points. Let's say we lose against Real Madrid, just for argument's sake. If we don't beat Leverkusen, that's a concern. 9 points. If we don't beat Dortmund at home, concern. 12 points. What's the table looking like? I need to know what the table was last year. Actually, I don't know. In the new format, I actually don't know what the... That's not relatively useful for me now. Champions League table, 24, 25? That would be. Top 8 got 6. So if you got 16... No, it's the only example we can use. Aston Villa finished 8th. And we want top 8. And they got 16 points. City are currently on 4. So if we beat Galatasaray at home, and we beat Dortmund at home, and we beat Leverkusen at home, and we beat Bodo Glimt away, then we will be hitting that target, that minimum target of 16. And That's not including maybe getting a cheeky draw away against Real Madrid, because you never know. We might play defensive football. Donnarumma saves us. I don't agree it's a must-win. I really don't agree it's a must-win. Galatasaray at home is a game that you should be winning. That's a must-win. Dortmund at home is a game you should be winning. That's a must-win, because it's a game you're expected to win. Leverkusen at home, that's a game you're expected to win. That's a must-win. And maybe it will transpire that Bodø Glimt becomes a must-win. But that's a much easier game than Villarreal. Not saying it's an objectively easy game, but compared to Villarreal, who did they just beat Barcelona or played very well against Barcelona recently, and are one of the best teams in La Liga this season, this ain't the game to say that this is a must-win. So I'm going to hard disagree, TBH, based on the league table from last season, which is all I can base it off. That's all I can base it off. And also the other games. This is, outside of Real Madrid away, this is our hardest game. This is our second hardest game. The second hardest game, when we're only 3 games in, can't be a must-win. I can't accept that. I can't accept that that's how it should be framed. So I'm going to disagree. They are poo cheeks. I was going to say Echeverri will play against us, but they're not even using Echeverri, the little bastards. So we need to pump them to show what they're missing, yeah? We need to pump them. It's not about underestimating them, Sachin, but which is a harder game? Villarreal away, Dortmund at home. The harder game is Villarreal away. So if we're saying one is a must-win and one is a game we can afford to drop points, the one away against Villarreal is that one. For sure. Company to beat Dortmund, yeah. Come on, guys. We want Bayern to do amazingly well. Unbeaten Dortmund. Guys, are you insane? How is Dortmund at home harder? Hello? Villarreal away? Hello? What's going on? Crazy. We always do well against Dortmund as well. That's the thing. Bayern to win the Champions League. Exactly. Big up. So yeah, as long as we win our home games, which I expect us to do, I always expect us to win our home games, then we'll be fine. It's not a problem. Real Madrid draw, and that could be a draw as well. I'm taking a draw against Villarreal. I'll be so honest. I'm taking a draw. That's a good result. A draw is a good result against Villarreal. Who do you think should be added to fantasy? Oh, Percy, I have no idea, mate. I'm not very good at fantasy stuff. I'm not very good at that. I'm just saying for the sake of argument, that might be another point. Or it might be 3. That might be 3. But that's not a game you don't look at Real Madrid and wait and go, yeah, that's 3 points, easy mode. I don't think that's the thing. Etch a fraud, show strong. Oh dear. That would have been absolute hell. Yo, I'm hungry. I just realised I've not eaten any food today. That's crazy. It's nearly 4 o'clock. What is wrong with me? Why have I not eaten anything? What's going on? I just got distracted. I got distracted because I went to the shop and I went mental, guys. I never shop at M&S, but I want to cook for Mrs. Nobbins this Saturday date night. So I wanted to get some fancy foods. And it's chat. I'm going to ask. I was going to ask you. Shall I tell you? But I'm going to tell you anyway. For starters, I'm making a scallop and prawn based starter. Don't know exactly what it's going to get entailed by. That's going to be the starter. Some sort of garlic vibe white wine sauce, I'm sure, will be utilised. Because for the main course as well, it's a fishy feast. It's a double whammy of fish. Even though scallop isn't a fish, it's a mollusk. But still, we're having halibut. I don't know if I've ever had halibut before. We're having halibut with portobello mushrooms and asparagus. And the halibut is going to be wrapped in prosciutto. Skin on. Yeah. What do you mean fishing big 2025? What are you trying to say? It's great. There's going to be about 85 grams of protein in this meal, and I need like 130 a day. So this is great stuff. Yeah, we'll be having white wine. Don't you worry, Naveen. Kebab pizza. No, it's a romantic date night, not kebab pizza. Andrew, that's the worst thing anyone's... That's worse than the person who's saying I'm a twat on a blue moon or whatever. That's a crazy insult. It's a crazy insult. For protein, definitely, but, you know. I've got a season ticket, mate. I got a season ticket, Aaron. I accept your apology, Andrew, but just watch it, yeah? Watch it. It's going to be good. It's going to be elite. Cooking with Nobbins. Oh, shut up, Thunder Road. You're so vile. It's going to be good fun. It's going to be good fun. Yeah, it's going to be lovely. We'll be live for another 10 minutes or so. Anything else that we want to chat about on today's stream, guys? Anything else that we want to discuss or chat about? What I want to chat about is the fact that there's over 200 people watching and I've still not got my 115. What's going on? You saw the photo of it, Musty. Here's my A-Wing. Look at that. I've got more Lego that's arrived. Ha 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 ha. Another set and some keychains so I can make my limbless Luke Skywalker. You can actually have some legs and what's it? Fenway, what the hell? Halibut is an elite meal. Hello? Prawns, garlic prawns, absolutely unreal. I will say, when I don't like cooking, but I am actually quite good at it if I commit to it. I just don't like cooking, that's all. I've watched any Norway games, says Don. Not in full, I'm afraid. The most recent ones. I watched his goals. Horn's goals. Absolute boy. How can I get a girlfriend? Says Strawberry Cheesecake. Have you asked anyone out, first of all, would be my question. Have you asked anyone out? Have you asked a lady out? If not, then that's your problem. Yeah, pay that like rent. Absolutely, Yanko. Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Certainly the Wharton and Anderson links make sense. We need a midfielder if both Bernardo and Kova go. By definition of by virtue of numbers, we will need another midfielder. We are already very high to the non-homegrown limit. Makes sense to be linked with homegrown midfielders, definitely, who are also viable. Yeah, it's just can it just be done? Can it just be dealt with, for God's sake? God's sake. I've no idea. But yeah, Strawberry Cheesecake, I need to know if you've asked anyone out, first of all, because if you haven't, then that's the concern. Any more dating advice? Well, first of all, you need to actually get a date. And the only way you can get a date is to ask them out. Now, that is a reality. You need to actually take the plunge and do it. You need to actually ask a lady out. If you want a girlfriend and you want to date, you're going to have to ask a lady out on a date. There's no other way around it, I'm afraid, unless you're doing some arranged marriage sort of situation. Realistically, there's no other way around it. You're going to have to do that. So, you know, how do you ask them out? It depends. It depends on what your area is. Like, you know, you can do it like the more traditional way that they used to do back in the 80s, where you know, you like go to like a bar or a club or whatever. It's not what I did, but you can certainly do that. Or maybe it's just like someone that you know from work, and you might like start as like acquaintances, as friends, maybe just initially go out for coffee as friends and that sort of thing. And then maybe gradually, it can evolve into something else. You can go, actually, and here's the wording you need to use, guys. This is what you do need to do. You have to say, I want to take you out. Use that exact wording. Because if you don't, then there might be, what's the term here? There might be confusion as to intent. You get me? Do you get me? So that's what you need to do also. You need to use that exact wording. I would recommend on a first date, best thing to do is lovely restaurant. That's the best thing to do. Why? And conversely, what's the worst thing to do? I would argue the worst thing to do is like the cinema or something like that. Why? Because the point of a first date should be getting to know the person and speaking to them, learning about their interests, letting them know about you as well. If you're stuck in a cinema for 2 hours, then you just sat there silently, aren't you? Now, maybe you can do a meal after and then talk about the film, whatever. But the first thing should be something which involves a lot of talking, so you can actually get to know one another, see if you are compatible, see if you actually like each other and are interested in one another. The best way to do that is to have a lovely restaurant. And if it goes well, you can always go out to like a club/bar after, also, if you so desire. There we go. It's tried and tested. Restaurants, love that. Yeah, exactly. Take it to the derby. You got something to talk about. That is, I will say, a football match is better than the cinema because you actually talk at the football. 115 before GTA 6. That's crazy. How did I move? I just asked her out. I've asked one person out, and here we are. You know, you never know. If you don't ask, you never know. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you could lose it, whether you can talk about how the game was shit and you can, you know, bond on that. I don't know. Got derby date, exactly, yeah. That's a way to do it, Kenji. That's another way to do it, absolutely. And you can, if there's chemistry, if there's a connection, you can try to take it to that next level. There's lots of vibes and feelings in that sense. Damn right, 100% record over here. One shot, 10 years. That's how it works. That's how it's. I just said, you know, I was like, well, first of all, like we just like met up and went for like just like coffee or whatever. It'd been like a while since we seen each other because like we initially met each other at work, but then like we weren't. But then like a year passed where like we weren't like working for the same place or whatever. Like I was still I was not working at that place, so we were separate. And then I just like randomly, we were still like casually like exchanging messages every now and then, just like, you know, casually and as friends. And then I was like, oh, let's like meet up, let's catch up, have a little chat over coffee. And then just like we had a couple coffee situations, and I was just like, yo, there's this amazing restaurant that I want to take you out to. You want to go? Just like, yeah. And there you go, 10 years. San Carlo, if you want the exact restaurant, guys, go to San Carlo. That's San Carlo. First dates guarantee a decade of companionship. There you go. Wisconsin's easy to find most other places. Wait, is that poutine, Fenway? I love how we're talking about poutine. The love gurus of Kenji, yeah. A derby date, yeah, definitely. It depends what their interests are as well. Like, if they like football and you like football, then, you know. What if you're missing 100% of the shots you're taking? Look, that goal ain't going to score itself. You know what I mean? Maybe change your shooting technique. If you're skying it every single time, maybe you need to have a more cultured effort. You get me? I've faced rejection before. What? From... Not from ladies, because I've only ever asked one properly, but in life, yeah, everyone gets rejected from something. Hashtag ads. Can I see if it doesn't work? You can try. Engage, not... Whoa, they're not wash tactics. I'm telling you tactics that work. Hello? Just be a lovely person as well. That's the key. Just be very lovely. And be a kind... Just be yourself. That I know that's a really... cliche thing to say. I don't even if people are seriously asking me this, but properly be yourself, because if you pretend to be someone you aren't, how long do you reckon that's going to work? How long do you reckon that's going to work? You can maybe pull it off for a couple of dates, a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months if you really push it, but at some point you are going to have to be yourself. Otherwise they're going to realize that you're fake, and then that's not going to end well. So do be yourself, definitely. And that's the thing as well. If the person's already on the date with you, and let's say it's a lady, there could be a gentleman as well, but let's say it's a lady because that was the initial question. Chances are, not necessarily, but chances are, if you're going to like a nice evening restaurant or wherever, or some sort of evening function, there's a strong possibility that she has made a very big effort to look lovely, whether it's an outfit, whether it's makeup, whatever, whether it's jewelry, whatever it may be. So she clearly wants to be there, and she's put in the effort to look lovely as well. So if she's already said yes, then you're already onto a winner, in a sense, in a way, because otherwise she wouldn't want to be there. She's making the effort to want to be there. Right, we're talking about dating advice. I think maybe we should wrap this up. Any final questions? Alan, just improve, mate. Just get better. Just get better, mate. It's fine. One, be good looking. I wouldn't consider myself like the best looking person, but Mrs. Nobbins is an absolute stunner. So if I'm able to pull Mrs. Nobbins, who is very, very physically attractive, and also beautifully emotionally attractive as well, if I'm able to do it just by being myself and trying to be funny and entertaining and easy to talk to and a good listener and a good chatter and, as I say, mainly making a laugh, then you can do it as well. It's at the end of the day. Looks can only take you so far. Longer term, ladies especially, based on my understanding, is that they actually want like a person rather than like, oh, look at me, I am big muscles and chiseled jaw. That shit wears off. Looks fade. And you get bored of that after a while. You get bored of that. And preferably have both, but you know what I mean? Anyway, guys, that's if you stuck around, late night, it's not late night, is it? Some last ditch Nobbins dating advice. If you want even more, then I don't even know. Maybe do it on an Ask Nobbins. Maybe we'll do that. My look's never fade. You know what? That's reasonable, man. Is that because you're going to embalm yourself? Now, we don't want to do a wedding abroad. We've already got the venue booked. We're getting married in a castle. It's going to be beautiful. The high fade, maybe that's what it is. But actually, I didn't have a fade when I first met Mrs. Nobbins. I didn't have a fade. I did tell you guys that one of my nicknames in college was Lenin, right? That was one of my nicknames. I had a fair few. Oh, dear. Yes, I didn't have one back. See, I didn't even have this classic hair back then. Didn't even have them. Now, if you do want to, if you are concerned about visual appearances, then no, I'm not. It wasn't even anything to do with that. There's a funny law to it. It wasn't because of my political beliefs. No, like, get a fade, get a nice haircut, have some pride in your appearance as well. For God's sake, wear some jewelry. Yeah, wear some rings. Wear a watch. Wear a nice chain necklace. Go out shopping with someone who's actually fashion conscious, and get some nice clothes. Go to the gym. You know, get yourself in the best possible physical condition as well. That improves your confidence as well, probably. And then it gives you inner confidence, and then you can do that also. Right, I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to all of my beautiful members, as always. If you want to support the channel like Abinab has done by joining the Ultras Club, then you can do so by clicking the link in the video description. Or you can click this link here, which the Nobbot has provided to you with !Ultra. Join the Ultras Club if you want all of those lovely things. Sana, she has watched some of my videos. I sometimes get her to watch them just like to get a sanity check sometimes. Sometimes to get a sanity check. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, we deviate into all sort of paths here, and today just happened to be dating advice. Be more than happy to give even more if you so desire. I'm not saying I'm the best person to ask, but you know, I do have a partner, so I've done something right at some point. I'm 3'7". I'm 3'7", if anyone's interested. Thank you guys. Tactical preview out later today. Stay tuned for that. Goodbye, everyone.